The chair recognizes the honourable member for Killarney.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I just want to refer to something the minister had said. The minister is absolutely correct that health is too important a ministry to play football with. The problems that are there, that existed even from I was born, however, no government has taken the matter by hand and dealt with it properly because some difficult decisions had to be made. And, Madam Speaker, I've said in this House before, and I say it again, that in order for health to be corrected, we must establish bipartisan committees, representative of government, opposition, health providers, and patients, inclusive of the public, where we can come with some final solution, and those difficult decisions would be made by that body, which meant that nobody can use it as a political football. If that is not done, then at least some form of hybrid, but we cannot continue to allow the health sector deteriorate and our patients or the public suffer. The member also spoke about when he came to office, he met quite a number of COVID patients. I want to inform this House that the World Health Organization, through Pan American Health Organization, had contacted the Bahamas and was impressed with the Bahamas COVID management and has in fact asked the Bahamian team to review the protocols for pandemic and epidemic management moving forward, the protocol established by the World Health Organization. That is an honor for the Bahamian team to be selected with a few others by the World Health to review the pandemic management moving forward. Madam Speaker, I may be brief today as I come with no written speech. We are moving in an election season, and many of us are campaigning. And as I walk through the Killarney constituency, they've given me certain information that I must speak on their behalf. And I'm speaking today on behalf of the great constituency of Killarney. Madam Speaker, one of the things we notice, and one individual had said to me, that politics has become very dirty and nasty. And I responded that politics itself is not dirty, nor is it nasty. Individuals with dirty or nasty minds enter politics. And I say that is important for me to say, because while campaigning within the Killarney constituency, individuals who would be running against me have said very terrible things about me, have said very nasty things about me, and things that are untrue. And I would only say to the Prime Minister that it's not him. It's not him.
We know it ain't him.
But, Madam Speaker, I would only send a warning to the individuals involved that if you start off now with such nasty ways, you will end up even worse. And you will be bad for politics. Madam Speaker, that's all I would say on that matter at this particular time. I did not call any name. But what I can say is whatever I say on the campaign trail, I can say it publicly because I stand by it. And what they said, I ask that they do the same. And I refer to Michelle Obama, who said, when they go low, you go high. And I will continue like an eagle and fly.
Fly high like an eagle.
Again,
High like an eagle.
like a phoenix I will rise, and like an eagle I will fly. But Madam Speaker, in the Killarney constituency, we have quite a number of challenges. And yes, we've been working with the relevant ministry. But I only want to send out a warning that as this is political season, whatever is done in the Killarney constituency or within the Bahamas to improve the quality of life for the Bahamian, I appreciate it. And even if you want to do it under the disguise of your own candidate, I don't care. I am not looking for brownie points. I'm only looking to improve the quality of life of the citizens or the residents of Killarney. I don't care who gets the honors or who gets the accolade. The most important thing is that the Killarney residents benefit. So moving forward, it is essential that we do a complete road resurfacing program within the constituency. We can take no more patches. Our seawall, which has been absent for a very long time, even under my term, just west of Nesbitt, still needs to be done. The street and residents' homes nearby are in danger. And Madam Speaker, during my time, there were legal challenges prohibiting it from being done. And I understand that those legal challenges are now resolved, and therefore we look forward to that being done. The Goodman's Bay Park still is a challenge. It's still a challenge. Cars still racing throughout our parks. And I would hate to get up one morning and see that a child or a resident or an individual was knocked down, injured, and possibly killed while trying to enjoy the park in their area. It would be bad for the government and be bad for the country. We continue our CCTV program, and we continue to advance it. And it's our objection to have the entire constituency monitored by CCTV. That is very important. That is very important because we face serious problems with dumping and serious problems with filling in the wetland. And this would help us in identifying the culprits so that we can deal with it appropriately. The camera system would identify individuals entering a particular area with a truck filled of debris and leaving with the truck empty, after which we can deal with it appropriately. And we look forward, and the residents look forward, to having our first pickleball court within our community, first community. The only other courts are at Bahama and at the Palm, in the Palm Key in the west. There are other programs that we have that we're continuing. Our backyard farming program, we continue to advance. And we continue to advance our program for new residents within the Killarney constituency. New residents are offered or given a fruit plant for their yard in trying to do our little part for food security. And the beautification program that we had planned for tropical had been placed on hold, but we will advance that. The area is called Tropical Garden. And we thought it would be beautiful. As you're entering the area, you see some of the most beautiful tropical plants so that you would know that you are truly in Tropical Garden. Madam Speaker, it is known, and my signs are up, that I will be running as an independent candidate. And they ask me, my constituents ask me repeatedly, what can an independent candidate do? And I want to clarify that. In Parliament, every individual is equal. There's no minister, there's no prime minister. We are all equal. Get the same benefits for your constituency, allowed to speak on behalf of your constituency. But most importantly, you represent and you are the voice of your constituency. You are not hammered, hindered, or squeezed by any whip of any political organization. It is not unusual that a political party may be bringing forth a particular law or policy. And many in that organization may oppose it. They may not agree with it. But as a part of the organization, they must vote yes. They must go along with it, or there are consequences. So their decision is not a decision for the people. It's a decision for an organization, for the party. But an independent member, his decision is always related, is made on behalf of the people. He is the mouthpiece of the people. He can also bring legislation just like the government, opposition or any member. He can bring legislation. And Madam Speaker, that is important because we had a very important legislation, something that was very dear to my heart. And I was very disappointed that that legislation was stopped, was not carried on. Under my term, we brought a legislation in Parliament declaring that the inner city was tax-free. Inner city was tax-free. We also brought legislation in place in 2018, the Affordable Homes Act, which allowed every government subdivision moving forward to be tax-free. You can bring your materials in duty-free. You can bring your furnitures in at request, duty-free. You can bring your coffee percolator in, duty-free. That law still exists, the Affordable Homes Act, 2018. But the inner city tax-free law was stopped. And Madam Speaker, I only want to show that it was working. It was working. With that program, we brought in the Small Business Development Center, and there were 49 individuals within the inner city that were given grants to the tune of $122,149. And those 49 individuals were able to create 142 jobs. That's just the inner city. And in addition to that, they were able to produce a revenue stream of $4.8 million. Now, when we looked at the concessions that would have been used by individuals within the inner city, the concessions would have added up to about $2.4 million. But they would have generated a lot more, created jobs, expanded businesses, improved businesses. So it worked. Yes, the government would have given away $2.4 million, but they would have inherited, just in that small area, 142 jobs. Those are individuals you've removed off the street. They would have inherited an additional, just from that 142 individuals, 4.8 million added to the revenue. Madam Speaker, that law, that legislation was also to be extended, especially to the impoverished areas. It was to be extended to St. Barnabas, and the legislation had already been drafted. It was supposed to be extended to Angliston, extended to parts of Camp Road and parts of Fox Hill, Pitt Road in the Fort Charlotte area, and Gambia within my area. But Madam Speaker, why that is so important is that just if one small area had a revenue stream of $4.8 million and had added an additional 142 employees, imagine what these additional areas would have done. We would have had an additional 1,000 Bahamians working, making money. We would have added more than an additional $15 million to the revenue, to the tax, to the country's coffer. However, that was stopped. Why I said that is because an independent candidate could bring forth that bill to make sure, argue, and show why it is so important. Governments listen and respond to people. When people see that things are working for them and you're taking something away from them, when they rebel, when they march, when they walk, governments respond. That's the nature of governments. And Madam Speaker, that is something that has to be brought back at some point in time. But there are many in my constituency, Madam Speaker, who said, well, I just want to say one more thing about the independent candidate. As I walk through the community, there are many who are saying that they are disillusioned with both major political parties. And they're having a challenge. They don't want to vote for either. And I think this is a great opportunity, a time for individuals who are interested in their country, who are interested in the people, who want to speak for the people, who don't want to be whipped in line and speak for an organization. Individuals who love the people, who love their country. This is an opportunity for them to step forth and represent their people. But, Madam Speaker, another thing that is in the forefront within my community, there are many people who said one of the reasons they are disillusioned with politics is that there are too much corruption. There are too much corruption. There are corruption in our society, yes. And if we want to be a better country, if we want, many have said we should be like Bermuda, like we should be like Cayman, or we should be like Singapore. But you must understand how they've gotten there. They have very, very strict anti-corruption policies. And as a matter of fact, Madam Speaker, as Prime Minister, we had brought an anti-corruption bill here. I thought the bill was very detailed and far-reaching. Both parties, members of both parties, had concern about the bill, and I think the bill was placed in the committee stage and never subsequently came out. But, Madam Speaker, let's look at what they did. They have strong anti-corruption laws, but most importantly, they have laws, but they are enforced. That is our weakness. We are great at passing laws, but we are a disaster at enforcing. If we do not enforce our laws, the changes that may occur or the deterioration in this country 20 years from today may be beyond our imagination. 20 years from today, I won't be here. I won't be here. My kids would be here. My grandkids would be here. And I, just like you, would love to see your family living in a better country. When we look at corruption alone, and you would have heard me say this over and over, the Bahamas loses $1.3 billion per year as a result of corruption. Investment portfolio decreases by 16%, and that carries a price. Corruption, we lose about, according to the World Health Organization, UN, they base it on GDP, and we would lose about 700 million per year. Then according to the IDB, with murder alone, we lose about $100 million a year. Taking those factors into consideration, the Bahamas loses that we can calculate $1.3 billion a year. Imagine if we dealt with just those two factors, corruption and law enforcement, and you saved an additional $700 million. The problems that the minister spoke about with health, you would be able to address. The challenges that Angliston face with education, you'd be able to address. The salaries that we face in the public sector and throughout, we would be able to address and increase appropriately. So a lot of things that we face today, we would be able to address. Madam Speaker, last year, and this is important, and I want everybody to listen, I find it strange that individuals may enter politics with a net worth of $50,000, and 4 years later, if not sooner, their net worth is over $2 million. I'm not picking on anybody. But what I'm saying is if nothing is going on, they are very, very intelligent. And those individuals should be hired within the Ministry of Finance. They would be of great asset to the Ministry of Finance. Now, I brought that up for a reason. Last year, my declaration was about $14 million. I'm not ashamed of that. It was about $14 million. This year, my declaration has gone up. Now, if we were a country of laws and enforcement, they should have called me in. They should have called me in and questioned me as to explain how my asset had increased by millions of dollars. Just like they should have called the individuals who moved from $50,000 to $3-4 million. Until we deal with those matters, Madam Speaker, our country will continue to deteriorate. And I use myself as an example so that nobody can say that I picked on them. No. But all I'm saying is that when these things happen, the laws should dictate that individuals, regardless of who they are, and there can be easy explanations. Members know that you can purchase a piece of property today at $100,000, and next year it's worth $600,000. They know that. And therefore your asset went up. Easy explanation. Easy. But all I'm saying is that call the individuals in to explain it. Because those individuals who are genuinely moved up, you need them within the finance system. They need the help with government investment, improving government portfolio. They should not keep all that knowledge to themselves. Why should they alone rise along the wealthy line? Don't every Bahamian want to rise? Don't they too want to become like a phoenix and rise to the sky? To the sky. To the sky of wealth. Madam Speaker, as I only have 3 minutes left, I don't have, like I said, I don't have a speech. I have more time. I'm not throwing any rocks. I picked on myself.
It's coming out.
Madam Speaker.
It's coming out. 50 to 2K, 2 million.
There's a war going on. There's a war going on in Iran. Oil prices are rising. With the prices of oil rising, the cost of living will rise. Inflation will get worse. Car gas will rise. Taxis will be asking for an increase. Buses will be asking for an increase. Employees will be asking for an increase. I only ask the Prime Minister or the member for Freetown, whoever is wrapping up this debate, I would be listening, and I hope that they would be informed, the Bahamian people, of what is happening and what comprehensive plan they may have moving forward to alleviate as much of the problems that they can. I look forward to that within the wrap-up, a comprehensive plan to deal with what is going to face us head-on if this war continues. You know, I'll stop there, Madam Speaker, because I can say a lot more, and I would save it at another time, because I can't stay here all day. I must return to the streets, and I must continue to campaign within the Killarney constituency. I try to go from house to house, door to door, reintroduce myself and answer as many questions as I can. And those that I don't have answer for, I inform them that I would get that answer for them as quickly as possible. Madam Speaker, Killarney rests.
Thank you, Honourable Member. As many.